What's going on, guys? Yeah, look at this mess. What's really going on here? All right, so we got a 2010 Corolla. A customer called me, says that basically he needed me to replace the starter because the car is not starting. So this is quite a ways away from where I live, so I decided to pick up a starter. I don't usually believe the customer, but you know. Anyhow, got over here, did the preliminary checks, simple things. Check for power at the starter, at the signal wire. No power. Okay, well, we don't have a starter problem. Potentially we have just feed problem with the feed going to the starter. So backtracking, let's just check the fuses quickly to see what's going on. Realize I don't see a starter fuse, so I went online to check check the hold on one second. So I went online to Identifix to find a wiring diagram, and this is the starting diagram. So now let's go ahead and check it out. I mean, I'm almost to the end of my diagnosing, but I'll just run it back to you guys quickly here. So that's the power feed to the starter, meaning the signal wire. This goes from the ECM to a relay. You have on the relay, you have a battery positive that is checking out, is working properly. You got a ground, which is supposed to be the blue wire, you know, which will be getting power as long as the computer basically you know, the control side of the real. Okay, let's just look at the diagram. That speaks louder than me. All right, what do we got here? We got a blue and white wire. Okay, I got power on this white wire because the fuse is good. I check all the fuses. So this white wire right here, actually I'm going to highlight it. Alright, so that's yellow right now. Power is there at the relay. The blue one is supposed to only have power upon switching. The way you switch is you have a constant ground here, which is left kick panel, that ground right there. Then you have to have this green wire. This wire is a black and white wire. The ground is good. I checked it. This is the light green wire that's supposed to be the power side from the ECM. If you follow it down, it goes through the park neutral switch, which we know we don't have an issue with that, because when you turn on the car, you see we're in park right there. And if I go through the gears, I have no issue with the park neutral switch. It's switching properly, okay, right there. So I'm on park, but let's go here. So yeah, so now we got that pin number 48 on the connector B, which is the smaller of the two connectors. B48 basically, which is the starter. Okay, so I went down there. First of all, I checked it from here, because this is where, unfortunately, you have to remove all this crap just to get to that relay, which is going to be, hold on one second, let me just show it to you. I mean, this car is falling apart, you know, Texas in the heat. All right, let me show you the relay goes basically on top here, right there. It sits right here in the car like this. So right here, it's a relay about this color right here, purple color. Okay, so when you flip it, you got the 4 wire that you're looking for. Okay, you got the power coming from the battery. You got this one that's supposed to get power upon having control side. That's a switch side basically. And you got those 2 small wires at the back, the white with the black stripe, and you got the light green wire, which is coming from the computer. This light green wire doesn't have nothing on it from this side. So I had to go all the way down to the computer right there at the ECM and back probe it from the ECM, trying to start the car. My light is not lighting. So what does it tell me? I have no feed from the ECM to the starter relay to the starter. So my problem right now, looking like a bad ECM. Again, that's the pin right there, the second one. I even made sure I pierced the wire on this side right here, just to make sure that I'm not having a bad connection right here when I back probe it. So both sides nothing is happening. And I'm gonna show you right now. This is my test light, battery positive. My light is lighting up. We're gonna put it right here, leave it there, and we're gonna go inside the car. We're gonna try to start it. Right there, look at the light. Let's focus on the light. Let me just give you a zoom. Alright, let's try that. So I'm starting it, nothing. Starting it, nothing. So from the computer, we have 0. Let me try to go to neutral, just for good measure. So we're in neutral right there. Let's try the same test. Nothing. Nothing. Alright guys, so last test we're going to do is check all the powers and the grounds of the computer. I already checked all the fuses going to the computer, and all the fuses are checking out. None of the fuses is bad. Everything that has to do with ACU and AMS, all of, in fact, all of the fuses are good. All of them. So I don't think we have a feed problem to the computer. I think the computer driver is fried. So now, but you know, just for due diligence, I'm going to check out the power distribution at the computer, and I'm gonna go check the powers and the grounds, and everything checks out, man, we're out of here. Okay doke, so this is the process that I really hate the most about diagnosing the car, is finding out the information. Granted, I'm relatively new to using you know, system information, like, you know, all data and all these different things, but sometimes I feel like maybe it's me, maybe they should make it a lot easier. Like keyword searches, if I want to look for ECM ground or ECM power, it should be just a section, just all of the powers in the ground are just there mentioned very simply. You just click on it, you got all your pins and everything else, and it should be just, anyhow, that's my rant. So I went ahead and checked all the powers, checked all the grounds, everything is checking out. I got all powers, I got all grounds. So now, based upon my understanding, we have a bad ECM, not a bad ECM, but we have a bad driver on this pin right here. Like I said, the pin 48, which is supposed to be power. When you turn the key to the run position, this is supposed to send power straight to the relay, and the relay will, you know, close. Will basically switch, and then you will have power go flowing from there onto this blue wire right here, this fat blue wire right there. From the fat blue wire, it goes on straight down to the starter. But we don't even have power from here, let alone from inside the relay there, let alone back here, and don't go in there. So none of this thing works. So since this is the source, excuse me, this is the source, we have no power at the source. I think our diagnosis is complete, and I think we're dealing with a bad ECM. And that's my diagnosing. Now we gotta talk to the customer. Obviously, I don't know if I can program a computer. I've never done it using my 906 BT, but it is what it is. As a last thing, I'm gonna still hook up my computer, which I haven't done yet, but I'm gonna try to hook up my computer and see if I have any fault codes in memory that would hinder this process from happening. I doubt it, but you know, just my due diligence, because I know calling an ECU is not a light matter, and you need to be absolutely sure that that is what's wrong with the computer. I mean, that is what's wrong with the car before you call it. So yeah, but so far this is the end of my diagnosing. I'm going to propose that the customer, I can make a switch for him, and he'll be able to start and, you know, run the car if he doesn't want to bother with the computer. So what I was thinking of doing is very simply just like a kill switch, right? So I will just have to where's those wires I'm looking for? Okay, right here you got these two wires, right? So these are the two wires. So what I would have to do is just cut these two wires and install actually not these two wires, the blue and the white wires, the load. So I'm going to bypass this load by creating a switch in between that, and maybe pull the switch somewhere around here, make it look nice. Well, that's kind of obvious, but somewhere, you know, and then it'll be just like a kill switch. All you will have to do is turn the car on, position right there, flip the switch, and the car will start, and you don't have to mess with the computer and everything else. So that's another solution that we can actually, we can do that. So I'm gonna talk to the customer, see what they want to do. If they want to go ahead with that, then we'll do that. In the meantime, that's the end of my diagnosis, and yeah, I hope you learned something from it. If I made any mistakes or something that I overlooked, please let me know. 2010 Toyota Corolla base model, no start, no crank. Guys, so in the meantime, I'm going to explain to the customer right there, turning on position. We're going to get in here. That's, I mean, somebody going to say this is irresponsible, but say whatever you want to say. I'm just giving the customer a solution so they don't have to go get a new situation. So I got my jumper wire here. This end going to go on the battery end. Right. And the other end is going to go to the starter B+, which is right there, the blue wire. Let me just push it to the side a little bit. Alright, I hope you can see what I'm doing here. Just when your car starts, you take your little rig off and you go drive your car. I mean, it's not the best, but I don't know no other solution, because I will have to find a fuse that's only on in the run position, which I'm not finding here in the engine bay. If I did, then I would just jumper with another fuse, and that'll be it. But unfortunately, I don't have any other fuse like that I know of that's gonna just be on when you're going into run position, because there's no starter fuse, unfortunately. Yeah, I think this will do for now, and I'm pretty sure the customer's not gonna mind. Or I can do it on the horn. Well, let me see if the horn is always on or not. If it's not on, then all they have to do is just jumper the wire here to the horn. Now it'll do the same thing. It'll do the same crap. Well, actually no. Now that I think about it, if I jump it from the horn and the horn is only on when you press it, but then we will have to hold on to the horn for that, because you need at least about a second and a half or so. I don't know. It is what it is. Actually, I think I can use this B. This is a B+ here. I don't have to go all the way there. From here to here, that should be it. Yeah, I'm gonna talk to him about it, see what he wants to do. But ultimately, that's my diagnosis. I go baddies here. All right, guys. Something very interesting just happened. So I was a little bit hesitant, I'm not gonna lie, about calling the computer. Just now, as I'm shifting from park to reverse, the reverse light or the gear start flashing, and the car would just stall. Every time I go into reverse, or if I go from reverse back to drive, it stalls. So what is the significance of that? Well, that has to do with the transmission, i.e. also the park neutral switch. And we know, because I didn't see the description of operation, okay? It seems to me that the computer only gives power if it gets the correct signal, i.e. it is a voltage of resistance from the park neutral switch. And then from that point on, the computer will give power to that light green wire, which in turn will complete the control side of the relay, pull the other side, and then you have power to the starter. I feel like right now, honestly, I'm dealing with a bad park neutral switch as it stands right now. I mean, ultimately, even if I'm not going to diagnose it, honestly, I've been here too long already, and I know my type of clientele, my time is not going to be compensated. So I'm going to elect to just let them know if it's not a costly part. We're just going to shoot the parts cannon at it. I get a brand new neutral switch and just slap it on there. If it solves the problem, that's what it is. If it didn't, well, hopefully that flashing will go away. We'll see. What's going on, guys? So I'm on my way to return this starter that I bought, but we finally nailed the problem, and it was an alarm system in the car. What threw me off, you know how the alarm, they have sometime a starter kill switch basically. So that's what the problem was, because eventually before I left I decided to go check the ignition switch. So I looked at the wiring diagram quickly, located the two wires, the white wires that's going to the computer as an input. So once I located the two wires, I noticed that they've been bypassed, and I'm going to include some photos of the bypass device. So basically what I had to do is just, of course, remove that splice, connected those two wires. Then I went back and checked the light green wire at the computer, and lo and behold, it lit up. So I came back, and of course the car started. So this is 3 hours later from the time that I got there to now, to get to this point. I will say that it's, you know, kind of excessive. I should have checked the ignition switch as an input from the beginning. I wasn't even thinking about it. My whole thought was just check the starter relay input, and that should be enough. But I was wrong. So lesson learned here, guys. So I don't know. I guess the more you do this diagnosis, the sharper you get. And unfortunately, it's not every day that you get some challenging cases like these, to where, you know, it's a good practice for you. So this is one time. I don't know when the next one's going to come around. So I guess that's where the people that live in New York and have access to so many different cars on a daily basis, this is the advantage. You know, they get to see problems over and over and over again, to where they can diagnose it so rapidly because of experience. Not just know-how, just experience. You know. So anyway, long story short, we did not spend the customer's money for no reason. You know, so no starter needed there. It was just that pesky alarm system, and we got rid of it. Now the car is starting with no problem. Owner paid me for 3 hours. I didn't even charge him for a service fee. Yeah, so now I'm on my way to the parts store to return this starter, and then that's it. And back on the road. I got 2 more jobs before the end of the day. Hopefully I can get to them. It's pretty hot right now, probably around 100. It is what it is. I got but it's warm, so I gotta get to the store and get some ice.